My name is Brad Crane, and I'm the President and CEO of Arvest Bank. Arvest Bank is grateful to be a part of the 90 Ideas Forum. We think it's a great investment of your time and of our dollars in our community.
Good morning. I've known Jeff Houghton for over 10 years now, and one of my business tips that didn't get printed in the booklet is never follow him on stage. So that's my tip to you this morning, but I'm proud of him, and if you haven't seen Instagram Husbands, you need to make sure that you Google that when you get home. Well, my mission in life is to inspire stronger versions, and I do that by helping people, organizations, and communities become stronger versions of themselves through leadership development. And in business, we spend a lot of time talking about leadership in terms of having influence on others and leading them towards a shared goal. But in my opinion, we don't spend enough time talking about self-leadership. And self-leadership is the ability to have influence over oneself and to lead oneself. It has similar constructs to self-regulation and also self-control. And although we all lead ourselves, we all may not be effective self-leaders. And some of the themes that you'll read in the booklet, the underlying construct is self-leadership. And I want to dig a little bit deeper into two of those this morning. The first one is to schedule self-care. And when you're looking at your month at a glance, your calendar, whether it's in physical form or in electronic form, I challenge you to go ahead and put on the calendar and hold it sacred an appointment with yourself on a regular basis for self-care. And I encourage you to insist that your team does that as well. I've found that when I'm working with busy executives that if you don't get it on your calendar, it probably won't happen. And I'll have leaders contact me, and it sounds so simple. Schedule an appointment with yourself for self-care. Well, what does that look like? It can range from anything that has to do with providing perhaps your body rest or feeding your soul. And it's so simple, yet I find leaders will contact me and have me come in and speak to their team, and they want me to do a workshop on burnout or work-life balance issues. And so I'm telling you today, one little secret is to schedule appointments with yourself. Some people may think it sounds a little selfish. Doesn't that sound selfish? And I would argue that it's one of the ways you can show respect to yourself and also ensuring that you stay healthy first so that you can take care of others in your home, in your organization, and in your community. And it's not vacation time. I watch a lot of people work really hard and then look forward to that break that maybe only occurs once or twice a year. This is more about finding a regular rhythm or a discipline. What do? My schedule looks different every week, but I often will block off time, and in terms of, it could range anything from taking a nap to watercoloring to getting a cup of coffee and walking around an antique store. And think about your work schedule. Think about those appointments. We've somehow given ourselves permission to take care of our physical body. Think about the doctor's appointments and the dentist appointments. Anytime you're in the office and you say, oh, I've got a dentist appointment, everybody's like, oh, of course, absolutely, go take care of yourself. And so in our society, we've given ourselves permission to take care of our physical bodies and hold those appointments so sacred that if we need to cancel them, we find a way to reschedule them in our appointments. And so I would argue that and challenge you today to hold appointments with yourself so sacred that if you need to cancel on yourself, that you find a way to reschedule it within your month at a glance. It's also a great way to politely decline. Does anybody ever get asked to do something when you really don't want to do it in the first place? Like in work or in family or with the PTA or something like that. And so I have found over the last several years that I love to be able to curtsy out of things. So when I get asked to do something and I've already got something on my calendar, an appointment with myself, I always say, thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me to do that. But I have a conflict. I already have an appointment. And it allows me to give myself permission to curtsy out of something. The second self-leadership strategy that I want to dive into this morning is to learn to adjust the volume of yourself. I don't know about you, but I get on my own nerves. Does anybody else in here get on your own nerves? Do you ever find yourself, you're on your own nerves? Okay, I get on my own nerves, and so I know that I get on other people's nerves. And so, and I'm talking about adjusting the volume in terms of your talents. I was in charge of an annual nonprofit fundraising event for years, you know, the ones with the white tablecloths and the decor and the PowerPoint screen and the ask for money at the end. And I had a team that was working with me on a regular basis, and we would plan and set up. And right before we were getting ready to open up the door, this one particular year, they asked me, they said, "How does it look? How does everything look?" And immediately I responded with, "The ice in these glasses are melting. The decor on this table needs to be switched out. The PowerPoint is crooked." And I just started firing away all the things that needed to be changed before we opened the door. Imagine how that would feel working with me as your leader. And I saw the look of frustration and exhaustion on my team. And I knew in that moment that I was coming across in ways that I didn't want to come across. And one of my talents is maximizer. I love to look at things that are already great and make them even stronger. And a big shock, I'm glad you're all sitting down, that team did not want to work with me the next year. So I had a new team, and during that time I was able to spend some valuable reflection on realizing that one of the greatest strengths I bring can also have a dark and shadow side if I don't learn to adjust the volume. You can never turn your talents off, but you have the ability. You can self-regulate yourself. You can turn the volume up when you need to, and you can turn the volume down when you need to. So I just encourage you today that to not get distracted in simply saying, well, this is just who I am. It might be just who you are, but self-leadership is about regulating yourself so that you create an environment around you when you lead that others really want to be around you. So you too can learn to adjust the volume of your own talents. Thank you.